Blackness Online is an MMO that has been ongoing for 9 years. Throughout that time, Pearl Abyss and Cacao Games, when they were still publisher, announced, released, and abandoned different content. Whether this would be game modes, arenas, life skills, or others. Today, I will be going over more content that has been seemingly abandoned or forgotten about. Snowboarding. This was going to be a new method of transportation in the snow region, perhaps a new mount. It was stated that movement around the new region, now known as Mountain of the Eternal Winter, of course, would be difficult, so PA developed snowboarding for ease of transportation. PA got quite far into development as they were able to show off this new mechanic at the Calphion Ball. Unfortunately, the whole thing was scrapped. A theory of mine is that Mountain of Eternal Winter was initially much bigger, with more mountains and impeding terrain. However, a large chunk was scrapped. Maybe PA will revisit this sometime in the future. 10v10 crew battles. The 10v10 crew content was planned to come after Solaire, and Thornwood was cancelled for this. However, no real details have been released. The things we know about it is that 10v10 crews was supposed to be 10v10, 10-person teams. However, 3 players on each team would be in reserve, where you could swap it out if needed. New areas were being developed to create competitive PvP content between the crews, such as modes like Capture the Flag or a mini Siege War. A rank system was also going to be added called the Champions League and potentially even have global tournaments. However, there has been no news for a while. Now moving on to Heidel Ball 2021. New servers called mini servers were announced for release. They look like private servers that can be created by players as a reward for completing events or quests. 30 players could be invited to these private servers, and only certain regions would be accessible. My personal theory is that the development of these private servers led to Marnie realms. Unfortunately, there has been no news of mini servers since 2021. The last Red Battlefield map. During Heidel Ball 2020, looking forward to 2021, new RBF maps were announced: Valencia City and Serenia. However, Valencia City was released as it is everybody's favorite map. However, Serenia was abandoned. The Serenia map was said to have a 3-way intersection. My personal guess, it would be west of Heidel. PA has mentioned, due to the layout of the map, 2 teams will come face to face in lion battles. Perhaps they wanted straight confrontation. Blackstar Raid. This was going to be a new raid slash world boss, announced at the Heidel Ball in 2021. It was the true nature of the meteorite floating above Star's End. Once the boss spawns, different platforms would appear around the meteorite. Adventurers would have to get high enough to deal attacks. I assume climb the summoned platforms. However, after testing, developers found that the difficulty was quite high, and the encounter was very gimmicky. Unfortunately, no news has been stated from Blackstar Raid since 2021. However, my theory is that the mechanics created for Blackstar Raid were actually put to use with Stars and Pillars, but I could be wrong. Moving on to Calphion Ball 2020. Invasion Week / Server Wars. With the server guild system, where guilds can select a main server, there was supposed to be a war system with the server system. The details on this are scarce, but every 1 to 2 months, every guild's main server, so the guilds who chose the same main server, would war against other guilds who chose other servers. So for example, I have a home in Serenia 1, I will be at war with Calpheon 1. During this week, every guild that has a home server on opposing will be hostile to each other. And you will receive buffs for being on your main server. However, you could invade other servers and fight anybody who has a home on that server. Each server will have a supposed relic. If one server can steal another server's relic, the server will gain benefits. At the end of the week, servers will be split and all have a grand battle, which I assume would just be a siege, or a siege type PvP mode. This will take place to invade or defend from opposing server guilds. There were also new annexes that would be created, such as a guild campsite and new tactical elephants. However, there has been no news on this since the 2020 ball. Thornwood Castle were initially announced as Siege of Thornwood. Thornwood Castle has gone through many development changes over time, especially now in its latest iteration of War of the Roses. Initially, Thornwood Castle was a Dark Zone type game mode. It was a free-for-all-ish game mode, or you could choose to work with opposing players. The castle had several entrances. Players would enter at random entrances and hunt down monsters through various missions with the objective of making it towards the center. During this, you would encounter other players through the stages and can either fight them or group up with them to continue your missions. Thornwood Castle was then transformed into a 5v5 PvE/PvP mode. Players would be randomly assigned to a team, either the Vidirs or the Gunnels, and both teams would participate in a boss raid/PvP type of content. Each team's goal was to destroy the opposing boss of each team, as the Gunnels would kill the Vidir's boss, and vice versa. Each team would basically do PvP content, or PvE content. However, PvE content was focused, as they would kill smaller bosses with the goal of reaching the final boss. As each team moved towards the final boss, they would progress and summon seeds. These seeds were currency that can be used to summon things such as supply boxes, different entrances, and summons that can be boarded upon killing, like Layton. Honestly, for me, both versions of this mode sounded really fun, and it was a shame that this was never released, even just for testing. This mode actually does exist on Global Lab, however, it was never open for use or testing. The bounty system. Now, not to be confused with the sheriff/outlaw system. The bounty system was a separate system that was announced initially in Huddle Ball 2020. Players who were attacked could put bounties on their attackers. Then players who hunt and kill these marked players would gain honor points and rewards. In my opinion, this would be a great solution to griefing. However, this was never implemented. And yes, I assume this was moved into the sheriff system, as mentioned earlier. However, that was also abandoned. Zodiac signs. Everybody knows the Zodiac signs. You assign randomly at character selection, or maybe you actually decide, I don't know. Well, depending on your sign, you would gain passive stats. Maybe +1 enhancement, +1 drop rate, etc. However, this idea was scrapped and abandoned, unfortunately. Also, the developers wanted to add things such as Zodiac tarot shops, however, this was also abandoned. I assume this was to change your sign, if wanted. And that's it for now. Hey, thanks for watching. I may do a part 3 if I find some more interesting info on things I've missed. I understand there is still more, however, the information was quite scarce. However, if I keep looking, I'm sure I'll find something. I'm quite new to content creation, so if you like the videos, send me a like or a comment on how the video was trash. Thanks for watching.